Hey, what's up everybody? Today I wanted to try to go through and answer the questions that you have in terms of the two tempered glass screen protectors that you've seen on the channel so far. So we've got GPEL and we've had Olixar. You want to know a lot of things around how the protector is holding up, if it's good with cases, you know, the usual stuff. Does it impact touch sensitivity and any of those things? So first, let's start off with Olixar. I just want to give you some general information about this particular protector here. If you've been watching the channel, then you already know that it pairs with many cases. I think I've shown about 15 cases or so already. This protector pairs with every case that I've tried it with. It doesn't have a single issue whatsoever around case friendliness. That's definitely a check in terms of pros for Olixar, and that's something that I can certainly vouch for based on my experience. Now, you guys know I've only installed the protector about a week ago, and I wanted to do it and leave it that amount of time just to make sure that I'd have a good feel for what I'm actually going to share with you today. These are just some general feedback in terms of my experiences with this protector. If any of you have already purchased it and you want to share down in the comments below with others, feel free to do that because we're here together. We're trying to figure out together which is the best protector out there that we can get for these particular phones. So let me just start off by saying that, like I mentioned with Olixar, and we're talking about the pros right now, and then I'll jump into the cons, and then we'll move into GPEL just to kind of set the stage here. Pro number one, this, like I said, is definitely case friendly. Pro number two, I like the fact that this protector actually comes down along the sides here. It doesn't go down too far to where you can't pair it with a case. That's what you want in terms of getting a protector that's case friendly. This one actually comes far down just enough to protect the edge and just enough so that if you're swiping in from the left or if you're swiping in from the right, you don't actually feel the protector there. The only way that you feel it is if you actually remove the case and then start to swipe. But I think that's going to be common with any tempered glass screen protector at this point because of the curved edges. The next thing I should share with you is around touch sensitivity. When it comes to Olixar, I've been using this again all week. I haven't had any issues. I've been typing, I've been texting, I've been long pressing, doing gestures, all the usual things that I would do on a phone as I use it daily. This phone I've been using along with my Galaxy S8 from the time that I got that. So I would say easily during the course of the week, I've given both of these phones 60 hours a piece or so. Not a single issue. This protector works just as you'd expect it to when you're swiping or, you know, doing long presses, gestures, typing. Never had any issues where I've had to hit a particular section of the screen multiple times because the touch wasn't registering. You don't get any of those issues with this. In terms of touch sensitivity, that's another check in terms of Olixar. It's good. Swiping down in terms of getting to your notification tray, no issues. This is something that is very different between this protector and GPEL. GPEL has a couple of issues when you're actually trying to swipe down and get into the notification tray. What made me notice it is the fact that on Olixar, it's so smooth. Every single time I swipe, it pulls down. There's not an issue. On GPEL, in terms of pulling down, and I'd put this in a con for GPEL, is the fact that you swipe down, sometimes it opens the app drawer. The top edge around GPEL is also this U-shaped cutout here, and it's actually not nearly as smooth as the Olixar protector. So that's something that I notice. You're gonna feel it on your finger as well if you have the GPEL protector. So I'm mentioning it today just so that you can be aware that it's not a deal breaker, but it is something that I think Olixar has dealt with a little bit better. Another very good thing about Olixar, and like I mentioned earlier, is the fact that the protector does come down quite a bit on the sides. You guys know that there's glue that runs along the top, the bottom, and along both sides of these protectors, and that's true for GPEL as well. What I see here with the Olixar protector, and this is something that when I compare it against GPEL I noticed, is that GPEL doesn't actually run quite as far down on the side. For me, I start to notice that it seems like there's dust that collects on the outer edge of the protector. I think that's happening because the protector doesn't curve far enough down, so there's debris and dust and things that can get in there from putting the phone in your pockets or, you know, just daily use that gets up underneath there, and it seems to be collecting right along the edge. It always looks a little bit dirty to me, so that's something that when I compare that to the Olixar protector, because it wraps down a little bit further, you don't notice that. This seems to be pretty clean to me. I've used this phone just as much as I've used my S8. In fact, I've used this phone longer because I've had the protector installed longer. I got this one first. I got this one a few days later. I installed it, and already, to me, the edges on the GPEL feel like they're a little bit more dirty than what I have here on the Olixar. Before I jump into GPEL, I just want to point out one other thing. You guys asked if there's any issues in terms of using the home button or anything along those lines. So no issues. All those little vibrations come through the glass just as they normally would on the regular display itself. So again, they're good. I know you guys want to get out there and protect your phone, so I'm trying to get through that as quickly as possible. My only concern here is that I don't want to just have the protector on for a day and then tell you it's good or bad. It's going to take about a week or so for me to get through each of these protectors. That way I have enough information in terms of how they function, what cases they pair with, just day-to-day life in general. Is it a good protector? Is it a bad protector? Does it withstand the things that we do on the course of a normal day? And right now, Olixar gets that. It does that for us. If you need a protector today, this is one that you should definitely consider. Look at all the comments below, listen to the things that I'm saying. Some of you have mentioned in the comments below that the reviews on Amazon is not that great. I'm not sure where those things are coming from because my experience has been nothing but totally positive. So just keep that in mind. When Olixar had reached out to me, I'd never heard of them. I didn't know either way whether or not I was going to like this protector. They sent them out to me. I took a look at them and actually I'm quite surprised. I mean, I'd never heard of them. This protector turns out to be one of the best that I'm going to end up recommending based on the 4 that I've already gotten in-house. Don't mark them down as a no-go just because maybe you haven't heard of that brand before. In terms of GPEL, this was my most recommended protector last year. I have nothing but good things to say about GPEL, and this year is really no different. I mean, it's just that I got the Olixar first. You know, if I hadn't had that to compare it directly to in terms of usage, GPEL might be my #1 right now too. There are minor things, as I've been trying to say. The differences between these two protectors are really so minor. It just depends on which brand you prefer or if cost is a factor. Olixar costs a little bit more. It's a little bit better. There's a couple of pros, there's a couple of cons here, and I'm gonna mention both of them. I didn't touch on clarity really, and that's because there's no issues here. This protector is actually really clear. You're not gonna have any color shifts or anything like that. When it comes to GPEL, however, I think that GPEL is just a little bit better in terms of their clarity here. And in fact, overall, in terms of the types of glass that they're using and the oleophobic coating, those types of things, I'm gonna give that to GPEL. Here, this glass feels better. It feels more to me like Gorilla Glass. When it comes to the Olixar glass, it doesn't feel bad. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that this glass that GPEL uses feels more like glass. Olixar, it's a tempered glass screen protector. However, it just feels slightly more plasticky than the GPEL protector. So again, this is a pro over here. When it comes to fingerprints, Olixar, I constantly wipe this protector all day long. That's one of the things that I don't like. You guys know already though that I do carry a microfiber cloth with me everywhere I go, so I'm gonna do that no matter what. It's just that with the Olixar protector, I found myself doing it a bit more frequent than when if I compare it to the GPEL protector. You're gonna get fingerprints and smudges and all that stuff. That's typical for any type of glass. If you're putting your fingers and rubbing it and all that crap all day long, anyway, that's gonna happen. Whatever they've got here in terms of oleophobic coating is pretty nice. Touch sensitivity, all those things are right up to par, just as we'd expect from GPEL. There's not a single issue in terms of typing. The only thing that I will say in terms of touch sensitivity is the fact that if you're swiping down from the top, every now and then the swipe doesn't register. And I've noticed this on more than 5 occasions. And so to me, that's a lot. Sometimes when I'm swiping, either nothing happens or the app drawer pulls down. And I notice it and I'm pointing it out because that's not an issue with Olixar. Every time I swipe down from the top, I've never gotten the app drawer. It always pulled down the notification tray, which is what I wanted, which is the reason for the swipe and the gesture in the first place. So with GPEL, every time you swipe down, you are going to feel that sharp edge there. The glass they're roughly, I believe they're both the same size, 0.33 millimeters. Yeah, both of the glass in terms of thickness, they're the same, 0.33 millimeters. It's just that with GPEL, the edge is a little sharper there. You're gonna feel that, so take note of that. This protector doesn't curve all the way down along the edges, which means that if you're swiping from the left or the right, you're gonna feel the glass there. It's glass, it's pretty sharp. I'm not sure if you're rubbing your finger up and down along the sides there. There's the potential to cut it. I haven't done that, but I'm just saying it's glass, right? GPEL works with every single one of the cases that I've tried on, so all of the cases, all of the major cases, Neo Hybrid, OtterBox Commuter, UAG, it works with the composite. I'll have all my other UAG cases in tomorrow, but I'm 99% sure that when it comes to case friendliness with either of these protectors, you can't go wrong. I mean, they work with everything that I've got in stock right now. We'll see where they fall later in the process, but right now that's where they are. If you're price conscious and you want the best protector that you can get at a particular price point right now, then that's going to be GPEL. If you just want the best protector that you can get your hands on, I'm saying right now, go out and get the Olixar protector. It's been great. I've had nothing but great experiences with this. So with that, let's go ahead and get into some of your questions. There's overarching themes that I see between both videos, so I think that this one may help you make a decision. If it doesn't, certainly leave comments down below here and I'll try and get to them. Just keep in mind that there's many more of you than there are of me. I also have a day job, so I'm trying to get through as many answers and questions and videos as quickly as I can. So thank you guys for bearing with me. So the first question is, does it work with UAG? You see that I have a UAG case here on my S8, and yes, it does work. It works on the S8 Plus as well with the Olixar protector. GPEL or Olixar, they both work with the UAG cases, so no issues there. So the dots, I forgot to mention this. I think I showed this during the install. Both of these protectors have those little dots that are actually on the underside of the glass. And I actually had conversations with GPEL about this. Those dots are there to kind of reduce that rainbow effect, which I think that this year they seem to be working better than they did last year. But what Mexi Joey points out is that if you're getting a VR, those dots are going to be visible if you use the protector. That's something to keep in mind, that if you're going for that, then these may not be the protectors that you're looking for because they're going to be visible in VR. The next question is, can I test it with the OtterBox commuter case? I've done that. Both of these protectors work just fine with the OtterBox commuter. I actually have that video. If I have enough time today, I'll have that video loaded right after this one, so you can stick around. I think it's for, I can't remember if it's the S8 or the S8 Plus, but either way, there's an OtterBox video that I filmed that'll be coming right after this one. Next question is from Sharkbite, and it's, is the glass flush with the edges and does it interfere with the edge screen at all? I didn't mention the actual specifics of the edge screen itself, and that's because I don't use the edge screen, but I can say that on GPEL, I've noticed sometimes if I don't swipe it just right, then the edge screen doesn't pull out. That's not an issue when it comes to Olixar. The protector curves down further, so you get a more natural swipe as you're swiping. GPEL was a little hit or miss for me, and that's because the edge is sharp and sometimes my finger hits the actual edge of the protector versus getting the actual bar for the edge display. Next question is, how does the screen protector compare to Olixar for the S8 line? And in terms of GPEL or Olixar, like I said, I think Olixar has a slight advantage, and because of the reasons that I've mentioned earlier. The next question by PH1P0 is there something similar that we can get for the back of the phone? The answer is yes. Olixar reached out to me. They're supposed to be sending me their product that they have for the back of the phone. There's a couple other brands out there that also provide protection for the back of the phones, so I'll try and get those in. If there's enough interest, if you guys want to see that, just let me know in the comments down below. If I see that there's enough of you that want to know more information about that, then I'll try and get that stuff in. Next question, is this actual glass or is it plastic? Both of these protectors are actually tempered glass screen protectors. GPEL definitely feels like glass to the hand. You'll know that they're both glass when you feel it. I'm just saying that if you have the two side by side, GPEL has a better feel to it. They're both glass. Next question is, does it feel every bit as smooth as the original screen? When it comes to Olixar, I'd say no, it doesn't feel as good as the actual glass of the display. GPEL, it's very close. So if that's what you're going for in terms of feel of the actual protector, you want a GPEL protector. Olixar is not bad. You only know the difference between the two if you have them side by side. I'm just saying again, and I do, you want a GPEL. Next question is, all I want to know about is touch sensitivity. Are there any issues there? The answer is absolutely 100% no. There is no issues with either of these protectors in terms of touch sensitivity. I've been using the Olixar for more than a week now. I've been using the GPEL, I think, for 4 or 5 days now, and I wouldn't say that when you're swiping down from the top as far as the notification panel goes, that that's a touch sensitivity issue. I would say that that's more around the way that the protector is designed. If your finger doesn't actually catch the display at the right time, then you're not going to get the notification panel to pull down. In terms of creaking or popping or any of those things, the glue on both of these protectors is fantastic. There's not going to be any issues there. I don't notice any creaking or popping for either of them. I'm going to answer one more question just because I seen this come into the comments right now, I've seen this a couple of times, is about the reviews that are being posted on Amazon and the fact that they're saying that some of the protectors aren't getting good reviews, meaning GPEL and Olixar. I can't speak or vouch for the experience that other people are having, but for me, my experience with both of these protectors have been nothing but positive. I've been using them, like I said, for 4 to 5 days for GPEL and over a week for Olixar. Not a single issue. And when I say using them, I'm a power user. All I do is use my phone all day, every day. I have both of my phones in my hand all the time. Anyway, I've got another protector in, and this one's by LK. I had this for a couple of days now. I do this with all the protectors that I get before I go through and I do an install or do a video and show you guys the actual result of the protector. I just check it out quickly by lining it up and just seeing how things are gonna fit. I can tell you that in this particular protector, I already know it's a no-go because it doesn't even line up properly on the display. I see that in the comments on the channel as well. Some of you were saying that you're seeing on Amazon that the protectors don't line up properly and things like that. That's not an issue when it comes to GPEL or Olixar. Those protectors lined up, you've seen them installed. You've seen them in all my videos recently, whether it's for the S8 or the S8 Plus. This particular protector is not gonna be so good. I'm gonna install it, I'll show you guys. I already know it's not gonna be case friendly then, because if it doesn't line up properly and it's hanging off the edge or hanging off the side, then when I put a case on it, it's gonna be an issue.